Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the managing director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we're discussing the O visa. So that's the Thai O visa. And I'm going to use this video to discuss anything that sort of falls under the O category. So this will even include OAs, O retirement visas. So OA visa, you can consider this sort of some analysis of what you should be worried about. The O visa for retirement, the O visa based on marriage, O visa based on parentage of a Thai child or supporting a Thai child, etc. So just the O visa generally, the overall category. Now, you have a non-immigrant multiple entry O visa of some sort. So this may be an OA visa issued from abroad. It may be an O visa issued from abroad. But we're talking about multiple entry non-immigrant Thai visas here. And to be clear, we're not talking about tourist visas. We're not talking about 30-day extensions. We're talking about O, non-immigrant, multiple entry Thai visas. So those folks will have been granted a 90-day stamp upon entry. And based on the amended amnesty announcement, it looks like folks that have non-immigrant visas will be covered by the amnesty up until July 31st. But the question is, what happens at July 31st? What are we going to be dealing with? Let me preface the rest of this video by saying, to some degree, this is speculation. I don't know exactly what will happen, but I think we can make logical inferences based on the immigration laws, prior experience, and the announcement itself in order to understand what's probably going to happen on July 31st. First thing to understand, this amnesty is not in and of itself a Thai visa status. In a sense, it is a forbearance by the Thai authorities. They're simply not enforcing Thai immigration law. It's sort of like a parole, if you will, in a sense. It's basically them saying, okay, we're not going to enforce the overstay fine rules against you if you got stranded here during the amnesty, and we're not going to enforce the overstay blacklisting tabulation. So if you get more than 90 days in overstay in Thailand under normal circumstances, that automatically triggers a mechanism whereby you may be blacklisted. Depending on how long thereafter you stay will gauge how long you will be blacklisted moving forward after that. So both of these things have, this current amnesty, it's sort of akin to duration of status in U.S. immigration, wherein basically it sort of operates in the negative. It's just, we're not accruing overstay fines against you. We're not accruing tabulation of blacklisting time against you. We're simply just waiving all of that while we're dealing with this crisis. First of all, I do not think it is prudent to presume that the July 31st amnesty deadline will be extended further. I think it is very safe to presume that that's pretty well a hard deadline. I think we're going to be stuck with that. I don't think they're going to extend this any further. Barring some massive unforeseen change in circumstances, I just don't see them extending it past the 31st. Secondly, understand how your status works. So this is a non-immigrant visa. It's a multi-entry non-immigrant visa. A border run may be necessary, and I'll get in border runs later on in the video. But if you're on an O visa that has a work permit, understand this first component. So let's say you're on a Thai marriage visa and you're extending, or you're in non-immigrant status. You've just preferred to use a non-immigrant O visa, and your work permit, you're working in Thailand. You have a work permit. It's probably going to be a really good idea to look at extending your status and not using the amnesty if it is at all possible. So if your O visa has yet to expire and you're watching this video, contact a legal professional. Probably a good idea to seriously consider extending your visa status rather than simply enjoying the O visa extension. So I should say the O visa amnesty. The amnesty is a result of COVID-19. And here's the reason. Notwithstanding the fact that immigration has made this policy on amnesties for those who are stuck in overstay due to coronavirus, Labor Department, the immigration policy doesn't have any bearing on those folks. So I think it is safe to presume you could have real problems with your work permit if you don't extend your status, because the O visa is the basis on which the work permit is issued. So in a sense, the O visa acts as a kind of platform to apply for a work permit. If that platform goes away, presumably the work permit should be canceled, and there are situations where one can be accrued fines for that work permit being canceled. So that work permit falling out of status, if you will, and not being affirmatively canceled, I should say. So that's the first thing to take away from this. If you're on a multi-entry O and you're maintaining a Thai work permit, try to extend your status if at all possible. And again, maybe a good idea to contact a legal professional on that, because the work permit implications of this amnesty are rather nebulous, and it's probably a good idea to get some legal guidance on how that's going to work or how that's going to operate in your given set of circumstances. With respect to others who are not here in work visa status, or I should say in work permit status, when this expires, a border run may be absolutely necessary. That being said, I don't think it's safe or prudent to presume that a border run is going to be particularly easy to accomplish. First of all, who knows what countries are going to be allowing foreigners in at the time that Thailand's visa amnesty comes to a close, comes to a conclusion. That's not a foregone conclusion. Moreover, we could see a situation where they're somewhat lax, where Thai immigration's letting people do border runs where they kind of keep them in eye shot, if you will, of, within the eye line of the immigration officer. They just pass outside the border, they pass into the country, stamped in, stamped out, come right back. There are probably land borders where that may be possible. Again, we don't exactly know, and I think diving into too much more speculation is not particularly useful. But for purposes of this video, I think it is wise to presume that a border run may not be possible. So you may be compelled, if you can't get into extension status here in Thailand, and again, those who are married, if you meet the financial requirement, you may be able to extend your status here in Thailand. Certain retirees, again, it may be possible for you to extend. But with regard to border running, I do not think it is wise nor prudent to presume that's going to be a possibility come July 31. So those who are in multi-entry O status, I think it's a good idea to be looking at extensions, and where an extension is not possible, I think it's a good idea to look at planning on a departure from Thailand on or prior to July 31st. And let me be clear about this. Better idea to leave before the 31st than right at the 31st. I can see people sort of trying to squeeze every day of amnesty out of this, but leaving ahead of time is probably a more prudent idea than waiting until the last minute.